Hello, this is Tasty Eats by Tess. Today we're going to be making cheesy garlic flatbread. So we'll get started here. I have a very large bowl so that no matter how much it rises in size, you'll still be okay. So we'll start off with 2 cups of very warm water and 1 tablespoon of active dry yeast. Very flat. Just pour that over the top. And we'll need a bit of sugar here, so it'll be 1 teaspoon. Here we are. And just sprinkle that and give it a little stir. And you can go ahead and have your morning coffee and let this start to foam up. That means it's ready to start adding your remaining ingredients. So that has had a chance to foam up. We're good to go ahead with our flour now. With the flour, it's probably going to be about, I would say, between 4 and 5 cups. We will see how it reacts to the water that we have in here. You may need to add more than 4 cups. So we will start out though with 4 cups because that amount I do know is good. So it will depend on the humidity in your house as to how much flour you'll need to add. There we go. So let's give it a stir. And it's going to be a very wet dough. And we're almost there. We'll also add 1 teaspoon of salt. That's necessary for the flavors, to bring out all the flavors in your flatbread. Of course, you can do without it. There are some breads that you don't add any salt to at all. But in my opinion, salt will bring out that flavor all the better. So yes, it'll be probably about 4.5 cups. Just basing that on visual. So that's 4.5. Oops. Need to put a little muscle into that to get it going here. And get everything from the sides of the bowl, just in case there was any yeast that's on the outside. You want all of the yeast to be incorporated. Great. So that's that. And we just add about a teaspoon of olive oil here. You can go ahead and get your hands wet with the olive oil so it doesn't stick as much. You can see this is a relatively sticky dough. I'll just bring it a little closer here so you can see it's gloopy. And this is a no-knead bread, really. You don't take it out and knead that at all. You just turn it over on top of itself like this and turn it over. Eventually it's going to turn nicely. Perfect. And it doesn't have to be all that smooth. It will rise. So this is where we want to go with this. We just leave this now. And we put plastic wrap over the top. And you'll leave it for about, I would say, a half an hour. And you come back and you do the same thing. Turn it over on itself like that. So you'll just take it, stretch it, and pull it over on top of itself. That's all you'll be doing, and it'll be inside the bowl. No need to take it out. Simple and easy. We'll see how this goes. Just remember, half an hour, turn it, next half hour, turn it again, and then we'll put it together. So we're going to go ahead and get our buttery garlic and cheese mixture together. This is just under a half cup of melted butter. We have a heaping tablespoon of garlic powder and a heaping teaspoon of onion powder. And we're just going to mix, I would say, about 2 tablespoons of gruyere cheese. We still have more, and that'll be for the top. So we just give that a little bit of a mix. And we're preheating the oven at 450 degrees for now. So we'll go ahead here. You'll see that the flour has risen substantially. It's almost to the top, and that's a super humongous bowl. So to get this out of the bowl, because it's a relatively sticky dough, and to have it to the consistency that you want once it's on the board, just rub some flour nicely over the top and go like this. You just need to scoop it all around the edges of the bowl, and that flour, as you're working it around and around, will get under your dough so it's not any longer sticky. It's still a sticky dough in the end and very soft. So I'm just going to, on the top here, sprinkle a little flour as well. And we're going to make 3 flatbreads. So I'm just going to divide that into 3 as best I can. Give it a squeeze. And there we are, we have 3. I will be showing you one of them. I'm just going to cover this up in the meantime because I will be rolling the others out a little bit later. So give that a cover. And we just roll that lightly. You want an oblong shape. That's what I usually go for here. Little extra flour over the top. Spread it nicely. And your rolling pin. That just helps it not to stick. And we'll continue on here. And there's no perfect science to this. And you will notice it's very stretchy. You can do the majority by hand. Very light, fluffy, and airy bread. And there's no need now to actually let this rise, because the rising for this type of bread, it's all done in the oven. You're looking for approximately 16 inches here. A little sticky. Go ahead, add extra flour. And we continue on. Get it a little bit wide. You want this to fit on your pizza stone. I will give it a moment to rest before we actually do put it in the oven though. And in the meantime now, we can just go ahead and we're going to divide it in approximately 3. You want to make sure that you have enough for all 3 of your flatbreads. Smells divine. Great. Still have a little more of the cheesy stuff that I can put on here. And you want to try and get as close to the edges as you possibly can. Perfect. So that's it for now. We'll just let this rest. So this has rested. I wanted to let you see, and it's resting only 5 minutes. No need to rest it any longer. I wanted to show you this part because this is, as I was saying, very stretchy and sticky dough. You can move it around. Don't worry about that. Just put it on some parchment paper here. And we'll fold that out nicely. Just fit it on the diagonal. You can maneuver this. Looks like it's difficult, but it's really not. Perfect. And I wanted to tell you about the yeast. When you're buying your yeast, or if you've had your yeast for a while, make sure you're checking the expiry date on it, because it could be expired and your bread will never turn out that way. So here we are. It's all spread out. Let's just put a little bit of cheese here on the top. This is on a really fine grind on the grater. It's the one with the little round holes is the one that I chose. Because you shouldn't be able to see much of the cheese, you just want to taste this. This is just a flavorful flatbread. It's not a cheese bread. And so the oven is already preheated, and I find the best way to do this is to get an upside down baking pan and just go ahead and scoop that on. Like so. Perfect. So it's on our sheet, and we'll just go ahead and put that in the oven at 450. And it's on my pizza stone. So it's going to rise up quicker that way. If you don't have a pizza stone, you can get something like this and put it on the top of this. And preheat your oven with the pan inside, like I've done with the stone. Close it up and we'll wait. So that was only about 15 to 20 minutes. What you're going for is when you open up the oven, you just feel your bread and look at your bread to make sure that it's nice and golden, and look at the bottom. Just look underneath and it's fine. So we're good with that. We'll take this out now, and the easiest way that I find is just grab a hold of your parchment paper and scoot it back on to your baking sheet, and there you have it. Beautiful. So what I'll do, so that you can see how this looks a little further or closer up, I'm just going to turn my other camera around so you can take a view there. So it's a little closer and you'll be able to see it. And we'll give it a cut. Let's just check and see how that is inside. Should be crispy, light, and it'll be fluffy in the middle. It's basically like a pizza dough almost. And you cut that into strips, the size that you would like it. Beautiful. Wow, it smells heavenly in here. So let's check. This is how it looks underneath. Beautiful. Let's give it a try. Well, this would be delicious with a charcuterie board. So when you have your guests over, cut it into smaller little pieces, maybe into 3 or 4, and serve it like that. Oh my, it's so delicious. You really have to give this a try. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments section if you want to see something in particular that you'd like me to make. I practiced with a lot of different breads. So if you want to see a different type of bread, even sourdough, let me know in the comments section and give it a thumbs up. Have a good day.